Hey, everybody.
Hey guys!
Coming
Hey,
at you
howdy,
live
hey.
from Hebrewfest, huh?
Oh yeah, we're having a good time. It's drizzling a little bit out here, but it's been a pretty good day. A lot of cool performances, and yeah, we even have a little clip from the other night when Jeremiah and Lindsay were still up here. Bryson Gray performed. You want to click that one on, Opa? We'll show people kind of what the vibe was the other day. Cool. Hey man, it was cool getting run into Bryson here at the festival. That was super cool.
Well, yeah, meeting his wife was super cool, and then I got her to. I told her about TrutherCon. I was like, "Hey, we'd love for Bryson to perform at TrutherCon." She said, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We would love to." And so we got confirmation several times that he would be at TrutherCon. So we're planning for that, and so stay tuned. But that was pretty epic since I have so many family members that love Bryson. I love Bryson. You love Bryson. We all love Bryson. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It was super cool getting to hang out and just kick it after the concert and stuff. And I think it's so beautiful, man. It was so good to get to hang out with you guys, and you guys came all the way up here to Missouri to do Hebrewfest with us, and so I was just stoked that you guys got to come up and hang out too.
Yeah, it was super fun. I was surprised how many of my new Charlie book sold, and it was so cool to see like people like asking me what it's about, and I was like, it's like, we want truth seekers.
Hey, Jeremiah, today's sponsor for the show is Sanctified Supply Co. Company Coffee. They
Oh,
just sponsored our show with a cup of coffee, man. Super cool people out here.
oh, what? Oh, they brought me a Red Bull just through the camera. Look at that.
Hey, it just woo.
Look at that.
What a life, brother. So yeah. While we were out here at Hebrewfest having a blast, and we're still having a blast, people all around the U.S. were celebrating 4th of July. Here's one of the ways that they celebrated it. Check this out.
Oh, sorry.
I think it's this one, right? Yeah. You know what's funny about that is that's how we drove home. We got a bunch of Roman candles that we were planning to light off before, we left Hebrewfest, but we had them in the car and we were like, what do we do with these? So we just started shooting them out the windows at people. And no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I think you just admitted to a possible federal crime, but it was just a joke, right? Okay. I've heard that fireworks are dangerous, and I've heard that motorcycles are dangerous, but I guess when you combine them, they cancel each other out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I think. Well, guys, have you heard of any news going on lately you'd like to talk about? I think there's some interesting things happening on the world stage, and before we do like maybe a little walk around tour of Hebrewfest and show what's going on here, we can cover some current events. One I wanted to show that might relate to something Opa has for us is a recent earthquake warning that's happening in Japan. And they have a manga writer that predicted an earthquake on July 5th, I think it was. So it's just really interesting. Check this out: some world calamities being forewarned about by all the experts.
Is spreading across the country of Japan, and not from official warnings, but from the pages of a 1990 manga, as over 1,000 earthquakes rattle the exact location
Manga sounds
foretold by
delicious.
artist Royo Tatsuku Decades ago, he is better known as the new Baba Vanga. In just days, over $4 billion in tourism funds has really evaporated, and fears of a catastrophic mega earthquake predicted for July 5th are driving people to flee, stockpile supplies, and brace for a possible disaster. Here's more.
The air in Japan crackles with an almost unbearable tension. With only hours remaining until July 5th, a viral manga prophecy predicting a devastating megaquake has gripped the nation, turning anticipation into palpable dread. Eerily, recent earthquakes have been detected at the exact location foretold in the comic book. While the Japan Meteorological Agency urges calm, the chilling coincidence has already inflicted a staggering $4 billion loss in tourism, leaving a nation on edge and bracing for a potential apocalypse. The chilling narrative began with Ryo Tatsuki's manga The Future I Saw, a work that gained notoriety for seemingly accurate past predictions, including the devastating 2011 Tohoku tsunami.
A lot of buyers of The Future I Saw, the customers who visit our shop, are young people. So of course, as July approached, the information about it spread on social media, mainly on TikTok. But it seems to be selling as word spreads.
Now, an updated edition points to July 5th, 2025 as the date for another catastrophic event. A massive tsunami triggered by an underwater rupture between Japan and the Philippines, with waves potentially 3 times higher than those seen in 2011. The economic fallout is already severe. Fear-stricken tourists, particularly from Hong Kong, have cancelled flights and hotel bookings en masse, resulting in an estimated $4 billion in losses for Japan's vital tourism sector. Airlines have slashed routes and a massive drop in foreign tourists.
The rumors have had a significant impact, cutting our Japan-related business by around 50%. However, the demand for other destinations such as mainland China and Southeast Asia has grown.
I think for me, the most important thing about traveling is safety. Hearing this prediction, I would also try my best to avoid going to Japan during July and August. If possible, I might delay my trip and go after September.
Now the manga drew the epicenter near Tokara, the exact place where over 1,000 earthquakes were registered this week, forcing Japanese authorities to order evacuations on the remote island.
So this is what's crazy is the guy
fault
predicted
zone is
earthquakes,
long feared by real-world
and there's been
geologists.
900 plus
Japanese
earthquakes
authorities
just
have
this
warned
week
that there is
on the
an
same time
80%
frame as
chance
his
of a
prediction.
magnitude 9 earthquake originating from the Nankai Trough, an 800-kilometer trench that runs parallel to the coast of southern Japan, occurring before 2055. The eerie similarity between the prophecy and the multiple quakes are worrying for many. Is it coincidence or something more? Science is fighting back against superstition. The Japan Meteorological Agency has stepped in, branding the viral prophecy a hoax and urging citizens not to heed rumors.
The famous astronomer Carl Sagan, he once said that extraordinary claims should require extraordinary evidence. But these predictors are making extraordinary claims with the flimsiest of flimsy evidence. Basically none at all.
For now, Japan holds its breath, Is this the day fiction becomes fate, or just another chapter in the country's long history of seismic survival?
Very interesting. So that'll be good for that. Well, we're having all these earthquakes all over the world, and even the biblical narrative foretells prophetically of wars, famines, and earthquakes in diverse places. But I just think it was hilarious that all of these manga fans in Japan are like, "Oh, we got to cancel our flight. The manga predicted the earthquake's happening on the 5th, so we can't go anywhere." And so because of a guy's manga, Japan loses $4 billion of their tourist industry because of people being freaked out that it's actually going to happen on those dates. But
Now,
I thought that was really...
To a dumb guy like me, what does manga mean? Does that mean like what they like?
Anime. It's like manga is like anime books that from Japan, Asian kind of like countries are really into manga and anime, right? And so it's these like stories that are cartoon drawn, but usually manga represents adult animated books and stuff. Not necessarily like bad adult, but just it's content that adults consume in Asia and in the U.S. and all over the world. That's just kind of like these animated tales and stories.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I know we're also going to be talking about the heartbreaking Texas floods, and somebody did predict that too, and it was a man by the name of Stevie Ray Vaughan, who is probably the best guitar player of all time. He had an album called Texas Flood, and I'm really interested to go back and listen to it to see if there are any signs in it, because a lot of people do hide stuff in music, but he was taken way before his time. But I pray for all those families.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating to me because in our show we cover a lot of predictive programming, right? And predictive programming often means there's a foretelling of future man-orchestrated events that will play out, right? But then you have this other side of prediction, which is natural disasters and stuff like that, which is definitely reminds me of the weatherman a little bit more. But yeah, man, it's very interesting. Opa, you said you were covering a strange weather occurrence in the world.
Yep. So let's take a look.
For the weather in Europe is show in Paris, Carlo in Rome, and in London it's just plain hot. Here's Elizabeth Palmer.
In Paris, the temperature broke 100 today. While locals cooled off in the Seine, tourists were sweating it out, disappointed to find the top of the Eiffel Tower closed due to the heat. In Rome, where it was also over 100, the city's historic fountains offered relief. Europe normally gets weather like this in July or August, not June. Climate scientists warn this will be the new normal. In England, June was the hottest on record, and July 1st has been the hottest day this year.
Oh, it's what the Brits call a scorcher, over 90 degrees today. And in a city where air conditioning is still pretty rare, a place like this is a magnet.
A memorial to Princess Diana was intended for kids, but in this heat, irresistible to everyone. Nothing says summer like the beach, but there are ominous changes. The Mediterranean Sea surface temperature hit an all-time high for June, and inland Turkey and Greece are struggling to control ferocious wildfires, with weeks of high summer still ahead.
Tourists are being turned away from one of the world's most famous landmarks.
We have just received an email and the tickets are cancelled. And we bought all of them 3 years ago.
Searing temperatures have shut down the Eiffel Tower and are radiating off the sights of Paris. The city's zinc-lined roofs absorb all that warmth and are turning apartments into saunas.
Quasiment 30.
It's 30 degrees inside, says this student. Much of Europe is under a sweltering heat dome, which has led to multiple deaths and hundreds of hospitalizations. France has closed schools, Turkey is gripped by wildfires, and Germany is restricting water use in some places. Workers in Cologne are trying to conserve their energy in the scorching hot sun. Italy has limited work outdoors. Cities need to be renovated, says this woman. More fountains and trees, it's the only solution. Spain experienced its hottest June on record, and the sea isn't offering the same relief. The water is not as cool, says this beachgoer in Barcelona. Temperatures in the Mediterranean are around 5 degrees higher than the seasonal average.
This will be something common from now, because the temperatures, the global warming is evident.
And increasingly evident in Europe, which scientists warn is warming faster than any other continent. Taria Isri, Global News, Montreal.
Cool. Your
mic is muted.
Very hot over in the EU.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they don't have air conditioning, pretty much. Only very, very, very few have air conditioning at all.
I definitely feel that pain right now. Got home from Hebrewfest and our AC is out, and really makes me appreciate when it's on, I will say. So,
yeah,
a little sweaty. That's why, guys. That's why.
Oh man, get Charlie to go over there and
He
pan
was a
some
second ago.
fans.
Yeah, he tried to whack the camera. So I don't know if he's still in here. He's been attached to my hip since I've been back. He does not like when I leave.
Yeah, you know that lady who was interviewing those beach goers, those old gentlemen on the beach? My first thought was, those aren't beach goers, those are beach dwellers. They look like they live there. They just are chilling out there. They've probably been retired for 40 years and they've been sitting there the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is crazy, the weather we're seeing and the heat. It's been pretty hot out here the past few days. Now, speaking of strange weather, this does not just stop in Europe and in Asia. We have some strange things happening in Texas. Check this next clip out, which is the latest on the Texas flooding that wiped out and is a historic flood with a lot of casualties.
First, and then our city manager will go next and give you some information, and then we'll finish with our Kerrville mayor. Okay, what I'm here to do, like I said, is give you all the most current update information. Please bear in mind these numbers will continue to change. As I'm walking in the door, I'm getting texts. It's going to be like yesterday. I think these numbers are going to continue to change and increase as time goes on. But like I said, we'll do a good job on keeping you updated. Search and rescue operations continue with a full response from local, state, and national first responders. At present, there's over 400 first responders for more than 20 agencies that are working in Kerr County. We have more than a dozen canine working in and near the river. More than 100 air, water, and ground vehicles are in the field right now working on this search and rescue. As of 9 a.m. this morning, we've recorded 59 deceased in Kerr County. Among those who are deceased, we have 38 adults and 21 children. 18 adults pending identification, and 4 children are also pending identification. At present, there are 11 Camp Mystic campers unaccounted for, along with 1 counselor. We extend our sincerest condolences and prayers for every single family affected by this tragedy. And we continue to work around the clock and reunite these families. We will continue to our search efforts until everybody is found. Our missing person call center is open, and those reporting missing loved ones can call the number 830-258-1111. I'll repeat one more time, 830-258-1111. Please follow the Kerr County Sheriff's Office and City of Kerrville Facebook for your latest information. At this time, I'll turn it over to our City Manager, Dalton Rice.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you all for being here today. Everyone in the community is hurting, and we know Many of you are locals or have some local connections here. So please keep everybody in your thoughts as we continue to navigate this very challenging time for our community. Search operations continue. Starting about 0600 this morning, we started putting boots on the ground. We have increased our number of personnel that are navigating the really challenging shores along the bank line, but we are continuing to make progress from west to east as we continue operations. What we really need from y'all is to really help us get the word out. We know that people want to volunteer, but what we're starting to see is personal drones that are flying. With these personal drones that are flying, that is a danger to aircraft, which risks then further operations. So if you could, please pass the communication along that we need to keep these personal drones out of the sky. We have drones and assets flying. We want to continue to do that. For volunteers and donations, we do have a phone number, 830-465-4794. We can give you that number after, but if you want to volunteer, if you have donations, please contact that number and they will help get everything out. We have families who need to be reunited, and we are continuously making effort to make sure that our families are reunited. We want to continue to work together with our community. We appreciate everybody here, and we want to make sure that we stay Kerr united. I'm going to let the mayor wants to say a few words, and then I will take a couple questions after the mayor.
Again, thank you for being here. You know, I'm old enough to remember Fred Rogers. And he one time said, during a crisis, look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. In Kerrville, those helpers are the city staff, county personnel, state agencies, and federal agencies. The entire Kerrville City Council is on site today. We're doing everything we can. Let me repeat something I said yesterday. In our Emergency Operations Center, it's not a bunch of different teams. It's one team. Our goal is to rescue those in peril and find those who are lost. If you are interested in donating to help those families who've been affected, you can visit the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country. They've set up a portal for donations, and I understand our community, our state, and the world have been responding. Thank you. Kerrville's branch of the Salvation Army has been designated as our official partner for volunteer coordination and in-kind donations. They can be reached at a number very similar to what you just heard, 830-465-4797. Also, we have a website for volunteers to register, a different website. It's tcr.communityos.org. It's important to follow the City of Kerrville's Facebook page for updates. If you follow social media and are interested in such things, I may be too old to tell you this, but there is a hashtag. It's hashtag Kerr United. That's what we are. We're united to help those who are grieving and to find those who are lost. And now we'll open up to questions. I cannot answer operational questions, but I'm going to ask the city manager to come back up front.
I'm not sure who can answer this, but we just talked with business owners who are very concerned not only for themselves but also for employees about how are they going to pay their money.
All right, that's probably good for this one, guys.
Having people reach out to them about their bills, and they're terrified that
So,
all this, they're going to get.
Obviously, just a tragedy hitting a camp with children and a whole group of girls going missing. And now what we're seeing here is very similar, I think, to what we saw last year with the flooding in North Carolina. You had an area that generally didn't get a lot of rain, all of a sudden had this torrential downpour. And so while it's not a loss and a disaster on the level of what we see in North Carolina, which they're still recovering from, it's definitely a massive loss of life, and it's unprecedented compared to, the numbers we usually see when there's these little flash floods. Like, you might see something like, 4 or 5 people, but this is in the, the dozens and dozens, and this is a big deal. So
The last number, as of a couple hours ago, was more than 79.
wow, that is a lot. Absolutely.
Yeah, I heard they had a lot of unidentified people, which is so heartbreaking.
And
Yep.
that whole area along the Guadalupe River is dotted with all kinds of summer camps and things. That's a very, very popular area for camping out, and of course these girls camps and boys camps and whatever.
Yep. Yeah. I personally went through a flash flood in 2021. We were at Roaring River State Park here in southern Missouri, near Cassville, I believe it is. And you can actually find a clip of me on the news where we were given a report of, we were like, all our group was camped out by a river, and it rained up river, and within just 10, 20 minutes, it went from water that was coming up over the banks of the river at our ankles, and within like a few short minutes, it rose all the way up to my chest. I personally rescued a dog. I didn't save any human lives, but I rescued a dog life. So, man, it is a terrifying experience to go through. I've seen the footage of the waters rising in Texas just recently, and within just a span of a few minutes, it goes from a dry creek bed to 25 feet, like, deep water. It's just insanity in terms of like how destructive and dangerous that is.
I'm happy to hear that you saved a dog's life, because dogs' lives matter too.
I think so, man. All of the Almighty's creation has a breath of life in it that's precious, and that one dog, I think he was grateful for just a random guy taking him for a little. Honestly, it was the most annoying thing, because that dog was like on a little island, and the lady who her car got swamped and carried down the river, and she was like shouting like, my dog, and me and this other guy were trying to corner it because it was on an island, and the water had rose to where there was like this little patch of dirt it was standing on, and we kept trying to grab it. It was so terrified, it was running away from us, and eventually just had to like manhandle grab it by the ruff of the neck and just lift it up out of the water. And we were like, me and this guy named Tim, were shoulder and shoulder, because the water was so strong that it almost carried us down, and I almost didn't make it. And so I know how difficult it was for me to get out of the water when we were hit by a flood, but yeah, it's just amazing, the destructive power of what's happening in Texas now. But well, yeah, there is any other thoughts on that, guys?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, it's so the dog wasn't like doing this; it was just like out of breath. It's gotta be like horrifying to see.
It was a small dog. It was pretty terrified, and yeah, I was just like like happy that he stopped running away, because I was like a second away from just going, I don't care about you anymore, dog. I'm going to live. So he's fortunate he stopped running that moment he did. But there were several other people that actually saved some children. There was a tent in our camp, and the flood came up, and all the children were in the tent, and they ran up to the tent with this big old knife and cut it open, pulled the children out. And we were fortunate. That whole flood that hit, no lives were lost, even though there was like 7 or 8 vehicles carried down the river. It was so bad that one of the campers were lifted up and put into the top of the trees. That's how high the water got. Man. And but this flood in Texas is a little different, man. It was much more tragic what happened here. So it hits close to home, knowing that I went through something, and I was like one of those little girl campers camped out by a river bed somewhere, a dry creek bed, And so it's just I hope and pray that they can find those people, and that hopefully there's some more survivors. Hopefully that they can find. But at this point, so much time is starting to pass that it becomes very a sad, poor outlook.
No, Jake wasn't in Kerrville.
No. I wasn't in Kerrville. I was in another flash flood in Missouri at Roaring River State Park. You can actually find me on the news. Look up 2021 Roaring River flash flood. Campers washed away, and you'll see me on the state news. But anyways, Jeremiah, this next topic I think is kind of interesting. It's political. It's a short video on the new announcement from Elon Musk to create the America Party. Let's check it out.
Morning, on the heels of President Trump signing his massive domestic policy bill into law, his former close ally, Elon Musk, announcing the formation of a new political party. Musk, the world's richest person, taking to his social media site X to say, "We live in a one-party system, not a democracy. Today, the America Party is formed to give you back your freedom." Musk, who was President Trump's top campaign donor, has been feuding with the president over the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill, which the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says will add more than $3 trillion to the national debt over the next 10 years. Musk has referred to the legislation as a debt slavery bill and had been teasing a new political party for days. It's unclear if Musk has officially filed paperwork for the new party. The Tesla CEO did not respond to questions from NBC News seeking clarity about yesterday's announcement.
The stock market's at an all-time high.
For his part, President Trump has been celebrating the bill. The legislation extends the tax cuts from his first term, reduces taxes on tips and overtime pay, and provides funds for his immigration priorities. It also makes some of the biggest cuts in history to social safety net programs like Medicaid and food assistance. In Missouri, Kimberly Gallagher is worried about how the bill's new work requirements could affect her and her son's access to Medicaid. Her son Daniel has a rare genetic disorder and autism, and she is his primary caregiver.
Medicaid is in every facet of our life. It's not just medical, it's financial, it's care. And to lose any of those parts would drastically change.
To my understanding, they're not taking it away from people
Meanwhile,
like that.
as the president continues messaging on his domestic policy bill, he's
I know
also focused on foreign policy.
it's a big
On Monday,
concern
President
for
Trump is scheduled to welcome
even my
Israeli Prime Minister
family.
Benjamin Netanyahu.
So, like, for example, my brother, who you guys got to meet here at Hebrewfest, my sister-in-law, watches my brother Caleb because of his seizures, and she helps take care of him. And so, some of their stability depends on Medicaid. And so, with all the media out there talking about how all these Medicaid recipients are going to lose access, it's even reached as far as my family, where people are worried. So I don't know exactly what the kind of litmus test for who receives and who doesn't, and how they're going to determine that. But I know it's got a lot of people concerned.
I think it's just the people that don't have real disabilities is what I kind of got the understanding of a couple of videos that I watched for explaining it. Because yeah, that would be horrible if somebody, like your brother, or somebody that really needs it was not able to get it. So I get why they're concerned, and the mainstream media doesn't make it any easier to not get freaked out, because they like to freak people out. But,
yeah. So just on this, the topic of how much of this video is left? We got a little bit left here. Let's go.
We got let's see.
To the White House. The visit comes as Israel and Hamas seem to be making progress on ceasefire negotiations to pause fighting in Gaza. The two leaders are expected to discuss that conflict, as well as the recent strikes by both the U.S. and Israel against Iran and its nuclear facilities. Willie?
Yamiche Alcindor traveling with the president. Yamiche, thank you.
Hey, thanks.
All right, cool. So yeah, I think this is interesting, and I was wondering if you guys could. I can't do it right now because I'm using my phone camera. But if one of you guys could type in, what are the main goals for the America First Party the America Party. It's very interesting what Elon has already publicized, that he wants to be the main primary focus for the America Party. And it goes hand in hand with this next video that we're going to watch. But would one of you guys mind looking that up and just reading out loud what their primary goals for the America Party would be?
Yeah. Like the America First or the America Party?
Sorry, America Party. I said America First, but I think he's calling it the America Party.
Okay. Let me look it up.
While you guys are looking at that up, everybody who's watching, drop a like. There's nearly 300 people watching live, so support what you like. It's free. All you got to do is hit that button. And I know people have to be like kicked in the butt to do anything, and it's such a small ask. But guys, for real, like if you want to help us succeed and you like what we're doing, please just hit that like button and share it out, and we appreciate you. But anyways.
There are other parties out there too. You've got the Independent Party, the Socialist Party,
Green Party.
Green Party, yep. And none of them have ever gotten more than a 1 or 2% of the vote. So I don't know why Musk seems to think that he's going to do any better.
I think what he's recognized is Trump used social media and his prestige to kind of accelerate his political career, and maybe Elon thinks he could be the next PRESIN president. Oh man, my spelling just fell apart.
He can't.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't find anything on like a list or anything. It just says the America Party is something that Elon said. I went down on like 3 different pages. Is there like a list that you want me to look up?
Yeah, there was just like if you type it into Google and you say, what are the main tenets of the new America Party Elon Musk wants? And the primary ones I wanted you to call out for our audience is the fact that they want AI and technological advancement for military and government to be the primary focus of that political party.
Okay. It says... Okay, it says less about ideology, more about reform. Focus on freedoms and addressing waste and graft. Targeted approach. The American Party supporting limited number of candidates in the House and Senate. Potential policy positions. Regulation, reducing red tape to foster innovation, like biotech, AI, crypto, and space. Education, moving away from traditional education models towards skill-based learning, which, I mean, kind of already happens in some public schools, like my wife's school. But foreign policy, free speech, and other things. Those are the main core things.
I show reduce national debt and promote responsible spending, modernize the military through AI and robotics.
Opa found it. That's what I was looking for, Opa.
Support the tech industry and prioritize AI advancement, less regulation, particularly in the energy sector, emphasis on free speech, natalist policies. Sorry, I can't read. My eyes are bad. Centralist policies in other areas.
You nailed it on the head. That's exactly the thing I read.
You sound kind of muffled, Jake.
Hello.
Maybe plug it back in. I think it got yanked or something. There we go.
Guys.
That's better.
There you go.
Fantastic. So, hopefully you nailed it on the head. It's very
Nope. You're back out.
Maybe just make sure it's plugged into the phone. Like replug it in, or however you're doing audio, because it keeps cutting in, cutting out.
All right. How about?
Maybe not that.
I'm just gonna throw my phone until it works. How about that?
We can kind of hear you. Let me try to see if I can adjust your levels. Sorry, guys, we are live. Okay.
All right.
Nope,
We can't hear you.
we can't hear you.
Okay, next video.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
So this is logical. And the problem is, like I said, when I've talked to Mark Andreessen and many other people, they think this is just fear-mongering. We'll be fine. This is worst case scenario. We'll be fine.
It is worst case scenario, but that's standard in computer science, in cryptography, in complexity, in computability. You're not looking at best case. I'm ready for the best case. Give me utopia. I'm looking at problems which are likely to happen. And it's not just me saying it. We have Nobel Prize winners, Turing Award winners, all saying this is very dangerous, 20-30% p-doom. This is standard in industry. 30% is what surveys of machine learning experts are giving us right now.
So what is worst case scenario? Like, how could AI eventually lead to the destruction of the human race?
So you can asking me how I would kill everyone.
Sure.
And it's a great question. I can give you standard answers. I would talk about computer viruses, breaking into maybe nuclear facilities, nuclear war. I can talk about synthetic biology, nanotech. But all of it is not interesting when you realize we're talking about superintelligence, a system which is thousands of times smarter than me. It would come up with something completely novel, more optimal, better way, more efficient way of doing it. And I cannot predict it because I'm not that smart.
Jesus.
That's exactly what it is. We're basically setting up an adversarial situation with agents which are like squirrels versus humans. No group of squirrels can figure out how to control us.
Right.
Even if you give them more resources, more acorns, whatever, they're not going to solve that problem. And it's the same for us. And most people think 1 or 2 steps ahead. And it's not enough. It's not enough in chess. It's not enough here. If you think about AGI and then maybe superintelligence, that's not the end of that game. The process continues. You'll get superintelligence creating next level AI. So superintelligence plus plus, 2.0, 3.0, it goes on indefinitely. You have to create a safety mechanism which scales forever, never makes mistakes, and keeps us in decision-making position. So we can undo something if we don't like it.
And it would take superintelligence to create a safety mechanism to control superintelligence.
At that level. And it's a catch-22. If we had friendly AI, we can make another friendly AI. So if like aliens send us one and we trust it, then we can use it to build local version, which is somewhat safe.
Have you thought about the possibility that this is the role of the human race and that this happens all throughout the cosmos? Is that curious humans who thrive on innovation will ultimately create a better version of life?
I thought about it. Many people think that's the answer to Fermi paradox. There is also now a group of people looking at what they call a worthy successor. Basically, they kind of say, yep, we're going to build superintelligence. Yep, we can't control it. So what properties would we like to see in those systems? How important is it that it likes art and poetry and spreads it through the universe? And to me, it's like, I don't want to give up yet. I'm not ready to decide if killers of my family and everyone will like poetry. We're still here. We're still making decisions. Let's figure out what we can do.
Well, poetry is only relevant to us because poetry is difficult to create and it resonates with us. Poetry doesn't mean jack shit to a flower.
It's more global to me. I don't care what happens after I'm dead, my family is dead, all the humans are dead. Whatever they like poetry or not is irrelevant to me.
Right. But the point is, like, the things that we put meaning in, it's only us. A supermassive black hole doesn't give a shit about a great song.
And they talk about some super values, super culture, super things, super intelligence would like, and it's important that they are conscious and experienced all that greatness in the universe.
But I would think that they would look at us the same way we look at chimpanzees. We would say, yeah, they're great, but don't give them guns. Yeah, they're great, but don't let them have airplanes. Don't let them make global geopolitical decisions. So
there are many reasons why they can decide that we're dangerous. We may create competing AI. We may decide we want to shut them off. So for many reasons, we would try to restrict our abilities, restrict our capabilities for sure.
Yeah, and there's no reason why they would not limit our freedoms.
If there is something only a human can do, and I don't think there is anything like that, but let's say we are conscious, we have internal experiences, and they can never get it. I don't believe it, but let's say it was true. And for some reason, they wanted to have that capability. They would need us and give us enough freedom to experience the universe, to collect those qualia, to kind of engage with what is fun about being a living human being, what makes it meaningful.
Right, but that's such an egotistical perspective, right? That we're so unique that even super intelligence would say, wow, I wish I was human. Humans have this unique quality of confusion and creativity.
There is no value in it, mostly because we can't even test for it. I have no idea if you're actually conscious or not. So how valuable can it be if I can't even detect it? Only you know what ice cream tastes like to you. Okay, that's great. Sell it now. Make a product out of it.
Right. And there's obviously variables because there's things that people like that I think are gross.
Absolutely. So really, you can come up with some agent which likes anything or finds anything fun.
God, why are you freaking me out right away? That's the problem. This podcast is 18 minutes old, and I'm like, we could just stop right now.
Couple hours at least, and then I have to fly here.
No,
and all
I
that,
don't.
you know?
Well, I don't want to end. I have so many questions, but it's just the problem is we got off to it. We just cut to the chase right away, and the chase seems to be it's something that must be confronted because it's right there. That's it. That's the whole thing. And I've tried so hard to listen to these people that don't think that it's a problem and listen to these people that think that it's going to be a net positive for humanity and, oh, God, it's good. I feel better now. But it doesn't work. It doesn't resonate.
I wish they were right. Every time I have a debate with someone like that, I'm like, please come up with better arguments. Prove me wrong. I don't want to be right on this one. I want you to show all the mistakes in my papers. I want you to show me how to control superintelligence and give us utopia, solve cancer, give us free stuff. That's great.
Right. When you think about the future of the world and you think about these incredible technologies scaling upwards and exponentially increasing in their capability, what do you see? Like, what do you think is going to happen?
So there are many reasons to think they may cancel us for whatever reasons. We started talking about some game theoretical reasons for it. If we are successful at controlling them, I can come up with some ways to provide sort of partial solution to the value alignment problem. It's very hard to value align 8 billion people, all the animals, everyone, because we disagree. We like many different things. So we have advanced virtual reality technology. We can technically give every person their own virtual universe where you decide what you want to be. You're a king, you're a slave, whatever it is you're into, and you can share with others, you can visit their universes. All we have to do is figure out how to control the substrate, the superintelligence running all those virtual universes. And if we manage to do that, at least part of the value alignment problem, which is super difficult, how do you get different preferences, multi-objective optimization, essentially? How do you get different objectives to all agree?
But when you think about how it plays out, when like if you're alone at night and you're worried, what do you see? What do you see happening?
So there are multiple levels of risk. Immediate is what we call ikigai risk, I risk. We lose meaning. You lost your job, you're no longer the best interviewer in the world. Like, what's left? What are you going to do? Maybe some people will find some other kind of artificial things to do, but for most people, their job is their definition, who they are, what makes a difference to them. For quite a few people, especially in professional circles. So losing that meaning will have terrible impact in society. We always talk about unconditional basic income. We never talk about unconditional basic meaning. What are you doing with your life if basic needs are provided for you? Next level is existential risk. The concern is it will kill everyone. But there is also suffering risks. For whatever reason, it's not even killing us. It's keeping us around forever, and we would rather be dead. It's so bad.
What do you see when you think of that?
It's hard to be specific about what it can do and what specific ways of torture it can come up with and why. Again, if we're looking at worst case scenarios, I found this set of papers about what happens when young children have epileptic seizures, really bad ones. And what sometimes helps is to remove half of your brain.
Oh, Jesus.
Just cut it out. And there are two types of surgeries for doing that. One is to remove it completely, and one is to kind of dissect connections leading to that half and leave it inside. So it's like solitary confinement with zero input-output forever. And there are equivalents for digital forms and things like that.
And you worry that AI would do that to the human race?
It is a possibility.
Essentially neuter us.
Well, loss of control is a part of it. But you can lose control and be quite happy. You can be like an animal in a very cool zoo, enjoying yourself, engaging in hedonistic pleasures, sex, food, whatever. You're not in control, but you're safe. So those are separate problems. And then there is, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's malevolent payload from some psychopaths. Again, that would assume that they could control AI. I don't think they will. But if they manage to do it, they can really put any type of payload into it. So think about all the doomsday calls, psychopaths, anyone providing their set of goals into the system.
But aren't those human characteristics? I mean, those are characteristics that I think, if I had to guess, those exist because in the future there was some sort of a natural selection benefit to being a psychopath in the days of tribal warfare. That if you were the type of person that could sneak into a tribe in the middle of the night and slaughter innocent women and children, your genes would pass on. That there was a benefit to that.
Right. So if it's a human providing payload, that's what would show up. If it's AI on its own deciding what's going to happen, I cannot predict. I'm just looking at worst case scenarios. There are also game theoretic reasons where people talk about retrocausality, where if right now...
What is that word?
Like trying to influence the past.
Say it again. Say that again.
Retrocausality.
Retrocausalogy?
Causality, causes.
Oh, okay.
So think about like weird time travel effects. Right now, if you're not helping to create superintelligence, once it comes into existence, it will punish you really hard for it. And the punishment needs to be so bad that you start to help just to avoid that.
My thought about it was that it would just completely render us benign, that it wouldn't be fearful of us if we had no control, that it would just sort of let us exist, and it would be the dominant force on the planet, and then it would stop. If human beings have no control over, all of the different things that we have control over now, like international politics, control over communication, if we have none of that anymore and we're reduced to a subsistence lifestyle, then we would be no threat.
It is a possibility. I cannot say this will not happen for sure, but look at our relationship with animals where we don't care about them. So ants, if you decide to build a house and there is an ant colony on that property, you genocide them. Right. You take them out, not because you hate ants, but because you just need that real estate. And it could be very similar. I cannot predict what it can do, but if it needs to turn the planet into fuel, raise temperature of a planet, cool it down for servers, whatever it needs to do, it wouldn't be concerned about your well-being.
It wouldn't be concerned about any life, right? Because it doesn't need biological life in order to function, as long as it has access to power. And assuming that it is far more intelligent than us, there's abundant power in the universe. There's abundant power. Just the ability to harness solar would be an infinite resource, and it would be completely free of being dependent upon any of the things that we utilize.
And again, we're kind of thinking what we would use for power.
Right.
If it's smarter than us, if it does novel research in physics, it can come up with completely novel ways of harnessing energy, getting energy. So I have no idea what side effects that would have for climate.
Right. Right. Why would it care about biological life at all?
We don't know how to program it to care about us.
And even if we did, if it felt like that was an issue, it felt like that if that was a conflicting issue, it would just change its programming.
So usually when we start training AI, we train it on human data, and it becomes really good very quickly, becomes superhuman, and then the next level is usually zero knowledge, where it goes, all your human data is biased. Let me figure it out from experiments. I'll do some self-play. I'll learn how to do it without you.
Can't hear anybody. Hey, there you go.
How about now?
Now you're on.
Your mic's off, Jeremiah.
Much better.
All right, so we got 300 people watching right now. Drop a like, guys. So I have just a few % left on my phone before I'm going to drop out of the call here. So I figured I could do a quick walk around of Hebrewfest if you guys want.
Let's do it.
Sure, absolutely.
All right, guys. So Hebrewfest is a awesome place. We have this big old main tent here. And right now we have some live performances. I was sitting out here next to the volleyball court, but it's been pretty sweet, guys. We've had some amazing vendors, people setting up booths here, a lot of people hanging out. Jeremiah and Lindsay were set up right next to us while they were here. And here you can see I have my Tribe the Game booth set up right there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? There we go.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
So you got some friends here. Hey, guys.
Earlier there were people here.
Oh, I'll catch them. I'll catch them later when I come back. I got to finish this. All right, so it's going pretty good. Let's walk over to the stage so you guys can see what the stage is like.
Ask anybody if there's anything they want to say to our audience.
Okay. Yeah. If I say I see somebody, I might say something. All right. Let's see. Hey guys. Hey, you got something to say to Skiba News Nation?
Hey, you guys know what's good on Skiba News Nation.
Hey man, hey, check out Hebrewfest next year at least. 2026 Hebrewfest.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna want to miss that.
Yeah. Yeah, sweet man. This is Jerry from Sanctified Supply Co.
Yep, super awkward on camera, but I love you guys. We love Skiba News Nation. And Jake, Jeremiah, good guys, and it's good to be with you all on here.
Yeah, we know you guys love Skiba News Nation. You sponsored our live stream today with a coffee. So
oh, crazy.
Yeah, Lucia.
All right. 212, Jeremiah.
All right, we'll see you guys later. All right, awesome. Hey, I got somebody over here I can talk to. I got 3%, so you guys are gonna have to wrap up the stream here in a second. But Adam, don't mean to interrupt, but Skiba News Nation wants to know how Hebrewfest is going.
Hey, things are warming up around here. Hallelujah.
How's it gone this year?
I think this is the best year so far.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That's just what I've been hearing.
All right, well, people got to come out next year and check out what we got going on here, huh? All right, awesome. All right, so let me hurry. I'm going to walk you guys over to see the main stage here. It's been raining a little bit, so it's a little light on the main crowd, but it's been packed these past few nights.
Oh.
So, yeah, right now we have Kellen Pullman playing, and right after Kellen, we have our friends Lyndon and Ruth left and right are going to be performing. But I'm going to walk you right up to the performance, guys, so you get a front row seat, okay?
Okay.
To the King of Kings, the Prince of Peace. Oh God, come and see.
Yeah, guys, it has been so much fun out here. And we're going to have just as much fun, if not more fun, at TrutherCon. Because, we're going to have kind of a little concert at TrutherCon this year. Isn't that right, Jeremiah?
Yep.
Yeah, man. It's awesome. So, anyways, I'm going to have to hop off here, guys. My phone's about to go. But, hey, everybody watching, make sure to drop a like on the channel. And everybody who made it out to Hebrewfest that's watching this, it was great to hang out. And Jeremiah and Lindsay, it was awesome that you guys got to come up here, too.
Yeah, we'll try to be there next year, too.
Awesome. Awesome. Sounds good. Well, I'll catch you guys later.
Later, man. All right, guys, who's ready to party? Woo! Just open Jake. I think his phone died. Anyways, yeah, Hebrewfest was really cool. You guys should definitely come next year. It's going to be awesome. And I see somebody asked about TrutherCon. That's the link, and you should definitely check that out. We have really cool speakers, and we just secured a really cool performer that I think you guys are really going to like when we make the official announcement. Kind of mentioned it, but I very vague. But yeah, guys, we love you guys, and we'll see you guys next week, same time. Opa, you got anything else to say?
Nope. See
All
you
right.
Next time.
Hey, let me show you a magic trick before we go. Anyways, I'll see you guys later.
All right.
All right, bye.
Bye.